Now we come to IGCSE 2023 October and November Additional Mathematics Paper 1, Set 1, question number 10, the last question. So this question is about differentiation because of dy over dx. So let's see what functions do we need to differentiate. This function is quotients of functions. So maybe we need to use the quotient rule here. Differentiate u over v, where u and v are both functions of x, then we can have the denominator v times the derivative of the numerator u, and minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator, and then all the way divided by the denominator square. So first of all, we differentiate the numerator and the denominator separately. So for the numerator, first of all, I will make the square root into 1 over 2 index. And then we can just use the chain rule. This 1 over 2 will become the coefficient and multiply the bracket to the power 1 minus the original index, which is 1 minus 1 over 2. That gives you negative 1 over 2. And then remember, for the chain rule, multiply by differentiate the bracket, which is 6x. Because the final ones will be written in the form of this, so I will change this negative 1 over 2 index to the denominator. For negative 1 over 2, it becomes positive when it is in the denominator. And for 1 over 2, it becomes the square root again. And then for 6x times 1 over 2, you get 3x. So this is the derivative of the numerator. So now we differentiate the denominator x minus 4, which is easy. It's just 1. Now we can use the quotient rule. Using the quotient rule, the denominator times the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator, original one, times the derivative of the denominator, and then all the way divides by the original denominator to the power 2. How do we simplify this? For the numerator part, or for the front part, you just multiply the x minus 4 and the 3x, and then you will have 3x times x minus 4. But for the later part of the denominator, because the front part we have a fraction and the denominator is square root this thing, so this one we need to use this formula to change it into a fraction. So for a square root a, we can multiply it by square root a over square root a, and for the numerator you will get just a, or cancel the square root, and it is just equal to a divided by square root a. So here I will just multiply it by the square root of this thing divided by the square root of this thing. For the front part, 3x times x minus 4, you will have 3x squared minus 12x. For the later part, these two multiplied together, you just cancel out the square root, and it gives you the original one, 3x squared minus 2. But remember to add the bracket because of the negative before them. So these two denominators are the same now, then you can just make it into one fraction. And then after all, you divide it by the black square. Simplify then this, 3x squared minus 3x squared, you cancel out, and then negative 12x minus 2, which is plus 2. And then this whole thing divided by the x minus 4 squared, so this one can become the denominator. So let's compare with this. A is just negative 12, while B is 2. And that's it. Now we come to part B. Here we need to find, in terms of h, the approximate change in y when x increases from 3 to 3 plus h, where h is very small. So we need to make use of one formula, which is this: delta y over delta x is equal to dy over dx. So multiply the delta x to the right hand side, you got delta y is equal to dy over dx times delta x. So what does it mean by delta y? Delta y is the change in y, while delta x is the change in x. So what do we need to do? First, we need to find the dy over dx at the point 3. because it's increased from 3 to 3 plus x. So we need to substitute the x is equal to 3 into dy over dx. And then we need to find the change in x. So when x is 3, dy over dx will be that value. Using your calculator, it is equal to negative 6.8. Remember, the negative or positive is important. And then how about the delta x, the change in x? So we can use 3 plus h minus 3. And it just gives you h. Delta y must be equal to negative 6.8 h. Remember, the answer is in terms of h. So we just finish it. This is the change in y. So that's for question number 10. We have just finished all the questions for IGCSE 2023 October and November. Additional Mathematics Paper 1, Set 1. Thank you.